It's No Box Art Box time, and this time we're going to try UpCrate. Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. It's been a long time since I've played with UpCrate. I did purchase the December 2019 box back when this was a brand new service, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to try them again in the future. And then in the meantime, they've had so much trouble keeping their website up to date and functioning that I wasn't sure if they're still active or not, but they do still have new stuff happening on Instagram, so I must assume that they're still around. Let's play with a replication of the August 2021 UpCrate. No Box Art Box is a challenge I created back in 2018 to replicate the experience of an art supply subscription box using items you already own. I primarily did it so that I could play with past boxes I missed out on, and now I do it because I can't justify the subscription costs right now for supplies I don't get to pick, given the excessive size of my collection already. But there are so many great reasons to try this challenge. Use it to test drive a service before you can buy, or to re-experience services you've subscribed to before. Use it to try the other companies you can't afford to get on top of the one you currently get. Or just use them as an inspiration to get you drawing. The rules are simple. Step 1. Pick any art or craft supply subscription box, pick a past month that already shipped, and look up the contents. Step 2. Match the supplies as close as possible using items you already own. Exact matches are fine as long as you didn't receive the box you're replicating. If that's the case, use the next closest match in your collection. Also, no shopping specifically to match the box for this challenge. The point is to use items you've already got on hand. Step 3. Make art. If the original box had a prompt or theme, try to stick to it. Only add missing essentials such as a pencil or a piece of paper. If you share your creations anywhere on social media, use the hashtag NoBoxArtBox, and if you make a YouTube video, definitely let me know so I can add you to my playlist. You don't have to do the boxes I do, pick whichever ones inspire you. As usual, with my art box videos, I'm going to go through what was in the box and what the manufacturer's suggested retail prices are. UpCrate is from Germany and prices in euros, but I normally work with US and UK based companies, so I do all of my numbers in US dollars, Canadian dollars, and Great British pounds. I'll give the USD in voiceover and provide the conversions down below. I'll also have real world sale prices and savings calculations in the description box, so you can check that out and decide if this service would be worth it for you. I've found that UpCrate is on par with Scrawlrbox in terms of subscription and shipping costs for all of us on this side of the Atlantic, and they always send a lot of items. The quality of the supplies tends to be more on the student and hobbyist end of the scale rather than the professional quality items you're likely to see in other boxes. Personally, while UpCrate always works out to a huge savings for me as a Canadian, I still don't find it worthwhile because they're usually items I wouldn't pick for myself. If they are the sort of items you'd want, then it's a great deal. By the way, if you're new here, hello! My name is Jenna and I'm a freelance editor and illustrator. I run a book review blog, and twice a week I like to make content over here on YouTube. Usually it's art. Sometimes the Tuesday video is booktube content instead, and I frequently do challenges and collaborations. If that sounds like your kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. And if everyone watching could hit the like button and leave a comment, that would do wonders to help me appease the algorithm overlord. We're suddenly doing a lot better in terms of impressions, click-throughs, and watch time, so something's going right. Thank you. First up in this box was 3 Tombow ABT markers, and I'll show you one of the few I have on screen now. These are dual-ended alcohol ink markers from Tombow, and the barrels are the same size and shape as their watercolor markers. They're trying to be Copic competitors, and they have an amazingly large range of colors, but in my experience, these inks are more comparable to Sharpies and other office stationery alcohol markers than to any artist illustration markers. These markers also don't hold nearly as much ink as a Copic sketch or even Chow, and so far I don't believe they've offered refill inks, but these are priced the same as a Copic. RRP is $4.19 US each, open stock, though you can get better deals in sets or in large quantities. The box specifically sent P553 Mist Purple, P992 Sand, and P997 Saddle Brown, none of which I have, so I matched with other alcohol markers. I'm using Ohuhu B340 Lavender Mist, Ohuhu E220 Sand, and Winsor Newton Brush Marker O345 Saddle Brown. The two Ohuhus are from the recently released pastel Pastels pack, by the way, which I did review on this channel if you're interested in checking that out. Ohuhu is making great strides in starting to replicate the paler pastel shade range Copic is able to offer, and if they start offering full range refills, I can see a lot of dedicated marker artists switching entirely. Unlike the ABTs, those also got a review on this channel, not worth the price tag. Go watch that review if you really want to hear why. Normally, I would say if you want to accurately replicate the ABT markers in one of these boxes, grab the colorful, fancy Sharpies that the Sharpie company wants serious artists to use. But to complement the originally included Tombow ABT markers, the box included 2 Sharpie S-Note creative markers in assorted colors. These are chisel-nibbed Sharpies in a wide range of colors, and they have an RRP of $1.49 US each. I only have the regular Sharpies, and I don't own many interesting colors, so I'm using the generic blue and the Breast Cancer Society collaboration pink ribbon marker. These are at least 10 years old, and I'm surprised they still work. Obviously, brand name Sharpies aren't needed for the correct effect if you were to do this particular box, no box art box style, and honestly, you'd probably have an easier time finding the chisel nibs if you looked at other stationery brands. You might have trouble getting the color range though, so it's a trade-off. Next in the box was a Sakura Pigma Sensei manga drawing in the 0.4mm nib, and I completely forgot to put an equivalent in my box. They're similar to the regular Sakura Micron PN, but in a black barrel, and they're presented as a higher quality line. I honestly doubt I would have used it much in this piece because I like to layering for darker colors, but I might have used it on the cat's pupil. These have an RRP of $3.79 US. Any black ink pen would be a good stand-in to simply replicate this box, but given that this box heavily featured alcohol ink markers, if you want them to play nice, you're going to want to go with a pigment ink fineliner or brush pen. Next item that I actually remembered was a Brunzil HB pencil with an RRP of $1.79. There's not much to say about those. They're just average graphite drawing pencils. I'm using a Caran d'Ache Edelweiss pencil in HB for no special reason other than I reached into my pouch of drawing pencils from past subscription boxes and pulled out one with an HB lead. I do own watercolor and pastel pencils from Brunzil, and they seem like a great brand. It's just an HP graphite pencil though, so what can I say? Grab a pencil, any pencil. The last item that makes a mark is the Sakura Pen Touch Calligrapher pen, and they sent the 1mm nib in gold. These are metallic paint pens, and the 1mm fine nib has an RRP of $3.79 US. I thought they looked very similar to these Pentel paint pens, so I brought one out to show it off, but this one's extremely unreliable and makes surprise puddles, so I won't be using it. It's also silver, and the box included gold. I have many paint pens, I have options, why not use gold, right? I decided to use my Pilot Pintor medium nib pen in gold because gold, but obviously this is a much bigger nib than the 1mm fine tip. A good alternative could have been a gold gel pen or a gold paint with a very thin brush. For the surface, this box sent a full 20-sheet A5 pad of Sakura manga paper, which research tells me is 250 GSM smooth Bristol. I found a manufacturer's product listing for the A4 and A5 pads on the Royal Talons website, which makes me wonder if they're the Sakura partner distributors for Sakura products in Europe. Interesting to note that Royal Talons also makes the Brunzil pencil line, so this is basically a Tombow x Royal Talons collab box. The A5 pads have an RRP of $10.93 US, and I cannot find it on North American websites besides Amazon, but interestingly enough, you can get it for almost half price in UK at various retailers. Makes me think how overpriced the RRP on Strathmore pads and sketchbooks are compared to what you end up actually paying. Speaking of, I'm using Strathmore Bristol paper because the original paper for this box is Bristol, and this is the Bristol I already had trimmed. I just used this in my redrawing high school art video last week. If you can't tell by now, I'm drawing a cat. I searched Pixabay for recently uploaded cat photos for inspiration, and I saw a Siamese laying on its side in shadow, and it inspired this. It wasn't my intent that you could present this as a cat laying down or sitting up. You totally could. It looks a bit slouchy sitting up though. This is definitely not my best result ever, and I'm absolutely going to blame the supplies. Classic office Sharpies without the special nib lines they've released are simply not art supplies. They're not designed for precision, and the actual pigment binder and alcohol recipe for these inks are nothing like illustration markers like Copic or Ohuhu's. They don't blend and play nice with proper illustration markers. I chose the classic dark blue so that I would have a darker shade to go with the lighter blue that was actually a specified color. And then I chose pink because other than that, I only have the basic office pack of black, blue, red, and green. I was supposed to have a black fine liner in here, so black Sharpie felt like overkill at the time. Green would clash, red would clash. See my conundrum? As it turns out, when you do the math and consider both just the RRP total value for these items, or go out and research actual retail sale prices and use that total instead, this box is a good deal. On paper, everyone is saving. I, as a Canadian, would save about $12, even on real-world retail pricing. Would I be happy with this box? No. I would still have spent $32.55 Canadian for 5 markers I don't want, yet another fine liner, a gold paint pen, and 20 more A5 sheets of Bristol paper. I was easily able to replicate this box with my own supplies, and those alcohol markers are not ones I would ever go out and purchase for myself. What do you think? Would this have been a good box for you? Let's discuss in the comments down below. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!